Hello and welcome to Craft with Sarah. In this video, I'm going to show you how to upload SVG files into Cricut Design Space. I'll show you with some of the free SVG examples from my website, but the same things I'm going to show you in this video will work for any SVG files that you download from any source. Let's get started. First, let's take a quick little look at my website so that you can see where to download the free SVGs. You can either click the free SVGs link in the navigation, and that will take you to a page which lists all of them out so you can look through all the free designs and choose which one you want, or you can download them directly from each individual tutorial page. You'll notice that at the moment this says log in to download. I'll show you how it looks a little bit later when you are already logged in, but I'm also going to go through and just click on read tutorial to show you what the download buttons look like on the tutorials themselves. If you scroll down the page, you'll find a pale green box which looks like this. It says download the free cutting file at the top, and then you can also see a login form here. If you're already logged in, it won't show the form, it will show a download button instead. If you don't have an account, you can use the link here to register one for free. Now, one thing you'll notice about my website is that it does have advertising on it. For example, we've got this bar along the bottom and also this box up here. And sometimes the ads can also appear within the post like this. Having adverts on my site is how I compensate for providing so many free SVGs. It takes on average around 15 hours for me to create a free SVG, from coming up with the idea right through to testing it and cutting it and making a video, writing up the blog post and putting it on my website. So the adverts are just a little way for me to get back a little bit of compensation for my time. However, sometimes you might find that the advertisements say things that kind of include the word download or get now or something like that. I do try to make it so that those ads don't appear on my website, but sometimes they get through. So I just want to draw your attention to the fact that all ads say advertisement along the top if they're appearing in the main post of a tutorial. And they've also got these three little lines in the bottom right. So if you're looking for the download box on my website, don't click into anything that says advertisement. Instead, you're looking for this big pale green box that says download the free cutting file at the top. All the download buttons on my website look like this green teal box, or you might see a red box instead. So if you're looking at anything that looks different, it's probably not one of my download buttons. I'm going to use this box to sign into my account. So I'll type my email address and password in here and then press login. After you click login, you'll find it will probably take you back to your account page. So to go to the free SVG you're looking at, just click the back button in your internet browser and refresh the page. And now you can see it's logged me in, so I've now got the teal download now button. I can click that, and then the file will automatically start downloading to my computer or your phone or tablet if you're using one of those. You can also go back to the main free SVGs page once you're logged in, and now when you go down, instead of saying login, there's a download button under each of these designs instead. So for any of those, you can just click download and it will start the zip folder downloading straight to your computer or device. If you're browsing my SVG shop instead of my free designs, then once you have actually done a checkout and placed an order, on the screen you'll see a download button to get the design, and it will also send it to you by email. So you'll have an email with all the download links. These ones look a little different because it does run a different software system to my main website. However, there's no advertising in my shop, so you can be sure that whatever download buttons you press are the correct ones. My downloads come in a zip folder, and so will most of the SVGs that you find online. A zip folder is a way to contain multiple files in one easy download link. So you'll probably find that yours go to your downloads folder on your computer. I've just copied this one somewhere else so that you can just see the zip folder I've downloaded. Before you can upload the SVG file into Cricut Design Space, you need to unzip that download folder. On a Mac, you can simply double-click on that folder and it will unzip it. On a Windows computer, there's a little bit more to do. You'll want to right-click on that folder and then press Extract All. Choose where you want to save it and then press extract. So you see I've now got a second copy of that folder, only this time the little folder icon doesn't have the zip down it and it doesn't end in .zip. And then within there are all of my files. My cut files come in several different versions for different types of cutting machine. If you're using a Cricut, the one that you'll need is the one which starts SVG in the file name, and that will either be capital SVG with an underscore next to it or lowercase svg with a dash next to it or a hyphen. But as long as you choose for my files, the one which starts SVG in the file name, that's the correct one to use for Cricut. If you're using a design that doesn't come from me, then it might be a little bit trickier to find out which file is the one to use because not all designers start their file names in that way. But what you can do is look at the end of the file where it's got the .svg, and that's another way to know that this one is the SVG file. Sometimes, especially if you're on a Windows computer, it might not show you the file extensions, which is what comes after the dot at the end of the file. So, for example, you might just see it end with Craft with Sarah and nothing after that. If you'd like to turn on the file extensions to make it a little bit easier for you to find the SVG files out of all the other files, which do look quite similar, then what you can do is go down to your menu bar and click into your Windows icon and type show file, and then it should kind of come up with show file extensions. Click into there. This will load your computer settings, and then there's an option here which says change settings to show file extensions. Mine's showing as grayed out because of the other settings I've got, but if yours is clickable and it doesn't have the tick, you can click it and then press apply, and that will update all of your file explorers so it will now show you the file types for all different kinds of files. If you decide you don't like that, you can turn it off at any point by doing the same steps and unticking the box and pressing apply. You'll see with my SVG file, it's showing as an SVG file under this type column. Again, this can vary based on your particular type of computer and what programs you have installed and things like that. You might find that yours says HTML document under here or Microsoft Edge file instead of SVG file. If it does that, don't worry, it is still an SVG file and you still use that one. So you're looking for the one that says either SVG file in the type or HTML document or Microsoft Edge file or something along those lines. The easiest way to tell though is by looking for this extension, which should be .svg. All right, let's open up Design Space and get this uploaded. Once you've opened up Cricut Design Space, click on the New Project button on the top right, and then Blank Canvas. To upload, go into the Upload button on the left, and then Upload Image. You can then either click Browse to find the file on your computer, or drag and drop it in. I'll drag and drop mine, so I'm going to put that one in there. And then this is what it looks like. That's absolutely fine. And then I'm going to press continue. This looks different to how it's ever looked for me before. So it looks like Design Space has just done an update before I recorded this video because it never used to have a second screen for you to add it looking like this, but that's fine. We can work with something new. Good job I'm recording the video if it's decided it's going to change everything. All right, so it looks like down here I can choose which folder or collection I want to save it in. You can give it a name if you want, but I like to keep it as just the file name, and I never add any tags. All right, so here's my image. Let's press upload. And then here it is. Okay, that's interesting because what it used to do is after you uploaded it, it would then show it in your recent uploads. So it would show a screen more like this that you could click and put it onto your canvas. Now it looks like it's putting it directly onto the canvas, so skipping a step, which I suppose is helpful. You can tell that this is a layered design by looking over in the Layers panel and clicking on the little arrow, and then it will show all the pieces in there. I also just want to show you what happens if you upload a file that isn't an SVG file so that you can see the difference. And that way, if you accidentally upload the wrong one, you'll know about it straight away. So I'll go back into upload and then upload image. This time I'm going to upload the PNG. So this is not a cut ready file for Cricut Design Space. And I've dragged that in. And it's not even showing it in the preview, which is odd, but I'm going to go ahead and press continue. Now this has gone to something different than what we saw with the SVG, which is this background remover. And that means that you've uploaded something which is not an SVG. If it's an SVG, you'll never see this background remover page. So I would know at this point I've uploaded the wrong file type, so I can just press cancel down here. And then try again, go back to upload and do the SVG file. All right, so this video kind of turned into something a little bit unexpected because I didn't know that Design Space had actually changed the upload process and how it looks on the screen when I started recording this. But now I do know, and we've gone through the process. So if you're looking for how to upload SVGs in the April or May Design Space update in 2024, there was a very quick, unintentional overview of how to do that. But I hope that this video has been helpful for you to see how to get the SVG files uploaded from my website into Design Space. One other thing I've just thought of would be if you're taking part in one of my craft countdown events, which run regularly throughout the year, it does work a little bit differently in that instead of having a full tutorial page or going to the free SVGs page, you'll have a separate link which will be your schedule page for that craft countdown, and that will contain your download links for each design each day. However, if you are taking part in my craft countdown events, I'll be sending you lots of emails with all that information in. So don't worry if what I just said doesn't make any sense, because if you're taking part in those events, then I'll make all those steps completely clear for you. But for now, this was a somewhat more rambling and longer video than I'd intended, but I hope it was helpful anyway. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!